So the voice that came through, I sat down and I said, you know, you are not my teddy bear voice. I don't recognize your voice. Can you tell me who you are? And the voice, you know, spelled out God. And I sat there for a minute, and being the Doubting Thomas that I am, I said, well, is that God forward or dog backwards? And I didn't get an answer. And I said, look, it's the name of the dog on the item I was just gifted. And the voice said, yes, I know. And I said, okay, if you're God, I want you to tell me specifically what do you want me to do with the rest of my life. I thought I was doing what you want me to do. I try to teach people about and share with people about alternatives to allopathic medicines. And what's the message I'm to get here? And the voice said, just ask and you'll receive. And I said, okay, so what am I supposed to do? And the voice said, I want you to clean up the rivers of the world. I was immediately backpedaling. I mean, you know, really backpedaling. I'm just like, I don't know where these rivers are. You know, they have all different chemicals in them. I can't even figure out what frequencies to use to neutralize West Nile virus. How could I possibly clean up the rivers of the world? I don't know what frequencies to use. And the voice said, I'll give you every frequency you need. And I'm like, I'm still backpedaling. And so I said, I can't do this by myself. And the voice said, I'll put the people in your path. And I said, this is going to take a lot of money. And the voice said, I'll provide for your every need. 2 years into the project, I was really struggling financially with it. And I sat down and I said, you know what? You said you're going to provide for my every need. And you know what the message I got back was? You always wait to the last minute to ask. So I try to ask a little bit sooner instead of like right before disconnect on a utility bill or something. So you know, I didn't think too much more about it, but I kept staring at this item that I had been gifted that was exactly what I'd asked for. And about 3 weeks later, I had 2 girlfriends over, and we're sitting in the living room having a cup of tea, and the one gal says, does Tom have on a CD upstairs that's reciting numbers? And I said, oh, are you hearing numbers too? And they were both hearing numbers. And Tom wasn't even there. The stereo wasn't on. Nothing was on upstairs. And so we got out pen and paper. Each of us got out pen and paper, and we sat down and wrote it out. And we were given this huge string of numbers. I mean, huge. And so we started looking at what the patterning was. And my teddy bear voice came back in and has given me specific names of people to call. And said, call this person, ask this person this, ask this person that. And it's, you know, names that I didn't know. I was told to call a specific person in Siam. And I'm sitting there going, I don't think that's a country anymore. But I just kept getting told, call this person in Siam, call this person in Siam, call this person in Siam. And I'm just like, you know, all right. So I look it up, start trying to track down a name through the internet. And this name has written articles for Siam, which is a mathematical journal. The person's specialty is taking 18-character number sets and creating a programming language out of them. These are 18-character number sets. So the frequency patterns that we use specifically for charging the crystals and for working with the dolphins, that is a set of 18. I was told to call them the Zobe. A lot of people refer to 6 or 9 of those same frequencies as a solfeggio. But I was told to call them Z-O-B-E-T. That's what I heard. But now my hearing's kind of fuzzy because I was told to report at the studio by the Dark Angels. And when I finally found it 8.5 months later, it was next door to the Archangel's Auto Sales. So, you know, that's a little bit of our problem, is my hearing is a little off. But the frequencies that we use, the way that you can look at them is as if you're looking at a telephone pad. So if you're looking at a telephone pad, just imagine this as being a cell phone pad. So you've got 147 is the permutations of how you use that. 147, 174, 417, 471, 714, 741, 258, 285, 528, 582, 825, 852, or 369, 396, 639, 693, 936, 963. So those are the 18 frequencies laid out as permutations of the bass notes. So we call those the fundamental seed notes. So 147, 258, and 369 are the fundamental seed notes. And then you can get the other 5 of each set from looking at that. And these patterns, when you take and you run them in specific patterns, what we're finding is every 4-note chord totals the same. And that basically operates to my way of guidance, not necessarily my scientific, but from my guidance, that by having the same total, that operates like a carrier wave. So like a train going on a track, it operates as a carrier wave. And then the numerical patterning that occurs is hitting by terms of aliquot. Aliquot is where if you divide by one number, you get another. If you divide by a spectral line of hydrogen, you may end up with the physical structure constant of hydrogen. Or when you take and you look at this formula and this ratio, you see that it is the exact formula for the refraction of light through water, speed of light through water. Or you look at the formula and you go, oh my, this is the exact formula for the unified field equation for antimatter. So we're going for it. We've started water testing up in Palo Alto, California, where we've got some very sophisticated equipment where we've started testing the water. Right now we're working on creek banks and we're testing standing bodies of water. We have an underwater speaker company that has gifted our project with underwater speakers, and that's what we're using to work with the cetaceans and also in the water testing. We'll keep you tuned for what the results are on that. And then we have Spirit, the sailboat Spirit that David Houston has out in the waters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have another boat that is going to get on board in the next month that will be doing it in Santa Cruz. We just did a massive ringing ceremony at Long Beach with the Live H20 United by Love conference. My nickname for it is the organizer, main organizer was Nadia Sommer. And so we call it Summer's Summer Solstice because it was on the summer solstice of 2009. But we did a giant granite mandala on the beach that children and adults came and we laid out. Nadia got a truckload of granite delivered to us, and we laid out this huge sonic mandala on the beach that was made of granite. And so I wish we'd had an aerial shot of it because it's actually one of the sound codes that is in our DVD that we're teaching to the dolphins. It was actually what we laid out on the beach. And then we had about 50 people that participated in the ringing ceremony. We had 2 sets of tuning forks, and we had a set of chimes that are all tuned to these frequencies. And we did it right before the solstice came in. It was in the dark, and it was really very, very moving, very powerful, and very refreshing and rewarding. And everyone we've already had a lot of calls back from people who took their stones and they're going, tell me again how many stones go in each river, because these were big chunks of granite and we usually use little tiny crystals. So it's been a very fun experience to take and awaken people to the potential of sound. It also helps them realize the power of their voice and of the words that they say, because our sound creates an electromagnetic field around us, and that field effect is literally where matter gets created. And so it's very important what we send out as to what will come back. So we ask that people join us on our quest. You know, our goal is to clean up the rivers of the world, the rivers of life that run within us, and the rivers of love that are to run between us. We believe, some people believe that AU, the term AU stands for gold, and some people think it stands for atomic unit. We've been told to look at AU as a waveform, and that waveform is how love is supposed to be, which is all unconditional. And we join with other peace initiatives that are water-oriented. We joined with Waveform Project and Earth Dance in 2005. We did one that was not water-oriented. It was the opposite. It was fire-oriented, which was Caravan of Light. So we've done projects with each of those. We just participated with Live H2O. And we're just rolling with it. We're just rolling with it.